This week on C Plus News Time, the Emmy nominations were last week, and damn it, Issa Rae was snubbed in 2 categories. Why, God, why? You can punish me, but not her. Calm down, Chad. Maybe she'll get a Golden Globe nomination. This year's Emmys looks to be about the same as last year, but with just a tad bit darker in color. Join me as I break down how Donald Glover, Veep, Hulu, and everything else and everyone else fared for September's big night. You'll never guess who wore what. Seriously, until the night happens, you'll never guess. I know what I'll be slipping into, at least: a coma. Now, while I go to the hospital, you can slip into this. C Plus News Time. Oh, and tell me if it doesn't fit. If it doesn't, then here's the gift receipt. You can go back to the store and exchange it for a bigger size or store credit. Either way, I won't be too offended. No, I'm serious. If you don't like it, just tell me. My feelings won't be hurt. You don't have to keep it. Just take the receipt. Why are you being so difficult?
It's C Plus News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Kermit the Frog here. I'm no longer a part of the Disney company. Yay! Welcome back to C Plus News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the comedy news that you didn't know about for the week of July 10th, 2017. The Emmys are hands down my favorite award ceremony. It's like a more fancy version of the Golden Globes, which in itself is fun enough, and a small screen version of the silver screen loving Academy Awards. Last week, I covered Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs' fight for diversity in and out of the Oscar race. She's doing a decent job. Now, the Emmy voters are getting in on the multicultural game with 30 diverse nominations. People like Viola Davis and Riz Ahmed make up the over 24 candidates who have a chance to leave a brown mark on television history. Yeah, I know what I insinuated. Now, I have to be completely honest. This all sounds like they did this to send a message for the internet generation. It's like they're saying, hey, we're better than the Academy. We love brown people and women. Articles like this one and this one are already too commonplace. I can't wait until we get to a point in time where we don't need to point out things like the multicultural nature of award show nominations, focusing mainly only on the works themselves. Interestingly, Saturday Night Live is tied to have the highest number of noms this year, which is pretty cool. Veep leads regular comedies with 17 nominations. Compared to last year, nom numbers varied from network to network. Both HBO and Netflix increased in terms of numbers, with the former going from 94 to 110 and the latter going from 54 to 91. My theory here is these two networks pumped out shows left and right all year long. There's nary a Sunday night without an HBO original series or a Friday without a new season of a Netflix show. Hulu freaking non-uploaded itself from 2 to 18 nominations, and Amazon stayed with the same 16. Beyond that, this year's nominees were simultaneously expected and surprising. To make this week's episode in the same vein as the award show format, I'll start with the least cool categories first, which means up first are the awards that have the two mix in both comedy and drama noms. For Outstanding Actress in a Short-Form Series, Comedy or Drama, Mindy Sterling is up for Con Man, Jane Lynch for Dropping the Soap, Lauren Lapkus for The Earliest Show, Kelsey Scott in the Fear the Walking Dead Passage, and Mindy Sterling for something called Sex and XX. My pick is the always lovely Lo Lap for The Earliest Show, mostly because I love her to death, and also it's the only show I've seen. Although I know each and every one of these talented ladies is deserving of the trophy. The male version of the category has the likes of Ty Burrell in Boondoggle, Alan Tudyk in Con Man, Kim Estes in Dix, Ben Schwartz in The Earliest Show, Jason Ritter for Tales of Titans, and John Michael Higgins in Tween Fest. I'm going for Benny Schwa. Outstanding Short-Form Series Variety houses nominations from Behind the Voice, The Daily Show, Between the Scenes, Epic Rap Battles of History, Honest Trailers, and The Star Wars Show. For me personally, it's a fight between Rap Battles and Honest Trailers. Each one is consistent in their work with the countless videos they do, but I do enjoy The Daily Show. For Outstanding Short-Form Series Comedy or Drama, there's only one well-known comedic series in Hacking to Broad City. That's joined by Brown Girls, Fear the Walking Dead Passage, Los Pollos Hermanos, Employee Training, and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Slingshot. It's easy to say only Broad City and Brown Girls shows are wholly original, so my hat goes off to them. They better win. Writing gets its time in the spotlight, and you probably could give less than two poofs about it. Not me, no way. I'm a writer, probably not as good as these next few nominations yet, but I'm getting there. Outstanding writing for a variety special picks include Full Frontal with Samantha Bee presents Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Louis C.K. 2017, Sarah Silverman, A Speck of Dust, Stephen Colbert's Live Election Night Democracy Series Finale, Who's Going to Clean Up This Shit, and the 70th Annual Tony Awards. My choice falls for Bee's Full Frontal special. She and her team put in a lot of time to make that show go off without a hitch. It was successful to boot. You go, you nasty woman. Continuing the writing moniker is Outstanding Writing in a Variety Series. Those noms include Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and Saturday Night Live. The Daily Show was snubbed again, sadly. If you take a closer look, Meyers joke, you'll see that each one of these shows had a huge hand in the last few months of berating America's current president. And one of them helped him get elected. SNL. Sorry, I said SNL. Animation is still a big part of television, and this year's nominees for Outstanding Animated Program are no exception. Oddly enough, Elena and the Secret of Avalor, a Disney program based on the first Hispanic princess, joins the ranks of Archer, Bob's Burgers, South Park, and my personal favorite choice, The Simpsons. Bob's Burgers has been nominated every year since its inception, but South Park had that season-long arc that mirrored real life. Archer also changed things up too, so it's up in the air for now. Outstanding writing in a comedy series has a bunch of writers from the same show. It's ultimately great for said show. Donald and Stephen Glover have separate noms for Atlanta, as do Dave Mandel and Billy Kimball for Veep. Lena Waithe is up for Master of None, and Alec Berg is in for Silicon Valley. My money is on any Veep writer because I love that show so much, though Waithe's episode of None was good too. Outstanding directing is similar, with Glover up for Atlanta, Jamie Babbitt and Mike Judge with Silicon Valley, and Mandel, Morgan Sackett, and Dale Stern going in for Veep. The next few categories are the typical split of sexes, so for the sake of time, I'm going to put the related ones together. For Guest Actress and Actor in a comedy series, there's Wanda Sykes for Blackish, Carrie Fisher for Catastrophe, Becky Ann Baker for Girls, Angela Bassett for Master of None, and Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy for SNL. For the ladies, male picks are Riz Ahmed Girls, Matthew Rhys Girls, Dave Chappelle, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Tom Hanks for Saturday Night Live, and Hugh Laurie for Veep. Obviously, SNL is going to take home a trophy or two that night. My guess is Chappelle's hosting gig after years away from TV, or either Wiig and McCarthy's stints being chosen too. But Bassett was phenomenal in her role. Also note that Fisher died, so she may have the sympathy vote there. Supporting actress and actor include Vanessa Bayer, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon for SNL, Kathryn Hahn and Judith Light for Transparent, and Anna Chlumsky for Veep. The fellas have Louis Anderson for Baskets, Ty Burrell for Modern Family, Alec Baldwin for SNL, Titus Burgess for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Tony Hale and Matt Walsh for Veep. Baldwin may have the career to stick around, but my vote again goes for one of the cast members of Veep. And SNL is positioned to win here, so any one of those ladies can definitely win. Lead actor and actress is a tough fight this year. There were so many of the 454 new shows with excellent leads. And yes, Issa Rae was snubbed. Yeah, I'm still pissed like I was in the intro. It's a freaking travesty. Anyways, the lead actor fight includes Pamela Alden for Better Things, Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin for Grace and Frankie, Allison Janney for Mom, Ellie Kemper for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep, and Tracy Ellis Ross for Blackish. And the dudes are Anthony Anderson for Blackish, Aziz Ansari for Master of None, Zach Galifianakis for Baskets, Donald Glover for Atlanta, William H. Macy for Shameless, and Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent. I shouldn't put my money on the Blackish actors again, but it's their turn to win. Both Ross and Anderson are excellent on the show. Alden, Ansari, and Glover each have a chance too. If Tambor wins, life will continue to be predictably unfair. Variety sketch series brings in one of the most deserving shows on television right now. Billy on the Street has never been close to the Emmys, and it's getting its chance to shine this year. It joins Documentary Now, Drunk History, Portlandia, Saturday Night Live, and Tracy Ullman's show. As far as a winner, Billy could win, but SNL had a stellar year. Still though, I'm a sucker for indie darlings Portlandia and Documentary Now, both featuring the great Fred Armisen. Variety Talk series keeps with the non-Daily Show theme, but it also stays on the Sam B train. Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, The Late Late Show with James Corden, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and Real Time with Bill Maher are the nominations. Kimmel and Corden have managed to keep out of the heavy political circus talk, so it's nice to see that kind of variety here. B's show is my pick to win, but my gut is telling me Oliver might take the cake. And finally, the most anticipated award, Outstanding Comedy Series, is what I watched the whole ceremony for. Atlanta, Blackish, Master of None, Modern Family, Silicon Valley, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Veep are the noms. Veep, of course, is my winner. Blackish is my second pick. But again, my stomach says Emmy voters will go diverse with Atlanta or Master of None, both of which get tepid reviews from me this year. Snubs for this category are Insecure, Speechless, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Downward Dog, One Day at a Time, The Good Place, Catastrophe, Girls, and Crashing. Each and every one of those shows deserves to be on the board in lieu of Modern Family, which we know damn well won't win. And Silicon Valley, the show that tells the same story over and over and over again. This year's Emmy race is tight. There's no telling what shows, actors, or scripts will be chosen. That is, if you don't have the ability to think like an Emmy voter. What's the theme for the award shows now? Inclusion, and there's no way to hide it. Twitter hashtags make these things headlines, and that's never a good reason to have these topics on the front page either. It's a shame. Instead of living in a world where silent hits like Insecure can perform well and be recognized for being feminist, black, and powerful all at once, we get high concepts driven to the forefront. And that's not to say that any one of these shows doesn't deserve to be up there either, but a lot of those shows had their time to shine. High Maintenance is a wonderful sleeper hit that went unnoticed, as did Insecure and Animals. I've seen the ratings, all on HBO and all renewed for more seasons but with little viewers. But they got less than 500,000 views. Or what about the constant repeats? Yeah, SNL was good this year, but it was an election year. They had to be firing on all cylinders. And did McKinnon really need repeat noms if she won last year? The same goes for Tambor. Transparent has worn out its novelty, much like Modern Family. And isn't it a little too late to hop on the Lin-Manuel Miranda train? Veep 2 probably didn't need 3 directing nods. Atlanta didn't need 2 writing nods. Now, I'm not going to nitpick too much, but it looks something like this every single year. There's always the multitude of cool kids and a teensy bundle of weirdos. It's said weirdos that make comedy shows more interesting. One of the best parts about them is their ability to live anywhere. Streaming, cable, and broadcast all have their own weirdos. One Day at a Time, High Maintenance, Speechless, they're the ones we need to be talking about because of their willingness to buck the trend of common situational comedies. Master of None is all right and everything, but it has the money and backing of millions of viewers to go above and beyond while being noticed. The 3 shows I previously mentioned sure don't have that stuff. In fact, it's doubly difficult to find reviews on them, period. Let's hope their voters let the weirdos have their turn on stage. Someday. And that's all the news I have for you for this week on C Plus News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can always head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where we've got so many good things that only I can provide you with. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook, and be sure to check out our new podcast, The Constitutionals, where it's just an audio diary of me talking to me. And that's what you want because it's so sexy. Rhymes.